Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the charts for XRP, see what's been going on most recently and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you'll be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Okay guys, let's get into this, right? So XRP paired up with USDT as usual. We're on the hourly chart and Binance is our data source. Okay, so we were tracking this corrective play moving down towards 58, 51, and there's actually a sweet spot down here a little bit lower than this, right? It actually comes in towards 57 and a high of about 61. Okay, we can see that we have lowered into here, but there's no guarantee this is actually over yet. If I bring the stochastic RSI back into play, you can see that we're in the heavily overbought area, and I am expecting some kind of pullback. The 4 hourly is moving up though, so we might progress up a little bit further before we have this pullback. The 8 hours actually pulling back quite significantly in a pretty good spot. The daily is already oversold, and the weekly still has a little bit more retracements to do. The monthly though is of course oversold and actually in a reasonably good position. So with all of that being said, we now understand the momentum behind the price. There should be some kind of pullback down here. So what we're going to try to do is just zoom out a fraction here. We can see that we're tracking this as a big corrective play of our E wave on our daily, and I'll talk about that towards the end of the video. But essentially what we want to do is we want to track what's going on here. What have we actually got going on? Is it a 5-wave structure? Is it not a 5-wave structure? Have we finished this move, or are we likely to go down lower? The bounce up is going to be quite key for us. Is this a string of corrections, etc.? So as we take a look at this data, we have a lot of overlap. So we haven't really got a 5-wave structure at the beginning. This is more corrective, so this basically just becomes a 3-wave structure, if you will. With a slightly overextended move towards the end, and then we have a 3-wave structure also moving up here, not an impulsive structure or a 5-wave structure, nothing like that. We then pull down. Now this is where we get interested. We don't have overlap, and we could argue that we have a 5-wave structure at the beginning, 3-wave structure up, and then we have this move coming down here. This could be argued as a 5-wave move in this last little move coming down here, right? So we could look at it as a 3-3-5 structure overall. Okay, so we could say that it's a 3-3-5, and that kind of gets us down into this low point down here. The issue that we have is that we're going to have to bounce up at some point, okay, and we don't necessarily know how high that's going to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus in on the recent move that we've just got here, this one that seems to be moving up quite nicely and pretty rapidly, okay. And what we want to do is we want to see if this is going to be of significance to us or not, okay. So when we drive into this, we can see that we're already kind of hitting the thresholds for what we would expect to see under a 5-wave move here. So as we move up, if we were to go up to about 63.18, that would basically indicate to us that we're likely to see this as a 5-wave structure, and that might make this a zigzag pattern going up higher, okay. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. It's quite a way to go at 63 from our area at the moment. Let me just pull that back up here. Yeah, 63.1. What I'll do is I'll just quickly dash that with a dash line there, so we know what that looks like. But yeah, that's going to be the target, right? So that's kind of what we're looking for. If we don't hit that though, instead this is all corrective, right? So we end up with this kind of pattern and some kind of breakdown from here. Now what this also looks like is it looks like we are in a single wave move, okay. So it looks like this could be a giant A wave, for example. We move down into a B and then we move up into a C, okay. Now that structure would also be valid and would also be putting us into an interesting position. So for those who are familiar, check out the Bitcoin videos, etc. I'm going to do a Bitcoin video this afternoon talking about the monthly close position for BTC and what that might mean for the crypto space, so check that one out later. But essentially, if Bitcoin closes its monthly candle below $38,610, then essentially I think what we're going to see is a little bit more bleeding for the crypto space, right, as a whole. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be fast. It could potentially be slow. I don't even know if it's going to be meaningful. Just historically, there's issues with Bitcoin and, you know, this particular moving average, right? So I think if Bitcoin were to drop down, then we would also expect a drop down. Now, I bring this up for XRP video specifically for one reason, and that is that this monthly close candle will happen, you know, in approximately what, 16 hours? Yeah, about 16 hours from now. And this is going to be an important thing. It means that we could have a correction here and a surge up, And that would also mirror what Bitcoin is doing. And it means that Bitcoin might close above that key level for the monthly close, right? The monthly close candle. This basically would indicate to us that this could be a good reversal point. We could have a much stronger bounce up as a result of it, okay? So we want to kind of keep that open and keep it in our minds that whatever Bitcoin does by the end of today is going to be key for the entire crypto space, XRP as well. Okay, now sometimes XRP will do its own thing. And I get that. And for the most part, I think there's a lot of fundamental things that could change the price direction for XRP, such as the Ripple and SEC lawsuit. But until we have some kind of clarity on that, ultimately, what Bitcoin does is going to be leading the way, okay? Now, if this is a structure that we're looking for, I would expect over the next maybe 6 to 10 hours, we have a correction, and then we might actually start for a nice kind of climb up towards the end of the day. And if that is the case, we might put Bitcoin at a really good position that could lead us out of this this low area on at least for the monthly close position, and it'll give us a pretty strong May in reflection to the really poor April, right? So really good stuff. So do check out that Bitcoin video, because I think you're going to want to know what's going on there and what I'm talking about. But essentially, yeah, we'll look for this correction to kind of come to an end. I'm looking for some kind of bounce to occur. It could be starting now, but we could also pull back down a little bit lower before it comes in here. But I'm not expecting to go down any lower than the 57-cent range here, unless Bitcoin, you know, as I said, gets that close below 38,610. So until then, I think we should be thinking there's going to be some kind of corrections and some kind of progression up as we think about bouncing the price upwards. Now, we don't know where that's going to go. I'll remove some of this noise off here so you don't think it's that. We don't know where it's going to go until we finally get that structure in, but I would think it would be noticeable, right? It should be noticeable on this chart. Now, as I come up into our daily, I spoke about this so many times, we're in that E wave, right? The E wave is really unpredictable, and we are at that crossroads right now, right? We're right at the low area that I've been talking about for probably months. I don't know how long I've been talking about it, a very long time, okay? But essentially we're right at that low point, okay? This is the point where it can continue to go down as the E waves are so unpredictable. We could just see another correction take us down lower, and I think Bitcoin would be that catalyst, okay? And at the same time, it's also the crossroads where we could see it, you know, end the E wave, and then we progressively move on out of here, okay? And the target for this, and it won't be a straight line, but it's 997, 1,600%. It won't be a straight line up there. It would probably be full of a wave one move, and then a deep retracement, and then a nice big surge, retracement, big surge. Okay, that's kind of what I would be looking for. And obviously that's really badly drawn because we were aiming for 997, but I would expect wave 3 to probably find resistance on that 618 at about $3.20. I would expect some kind of pullback and then maybe some final surge at the top with an overextended fifth wave. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to look, but I would expect 5 waves in this last little leg of this this move. So essentially, yeah, we're just kind of waiting for confirmation on what this E is going to do. It's right where I thought it would land. And it's got a decision to make, right? The entire crypto space has a decision to make. Are we going to drop down lower? Are we going to continue that surge upwards? I think personally, we'll probably drop down a little bit lower before we get that surge up, okay? But that's just where I currently sit personally. Obviously, I'm going to draw the video there. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you financial advice. Do not buy, sell, or trade on anything I say on doing these videos, as they say. You know, come to your own conclusions. I'm just giving you my thoughts and opinions on the data that is presented to me inside these charts. Guys, do check out Bitcoin video this afternoon. You know, I think you're going to want to know what I'm talking about in terms of Bitcoin's monthly closure if you're not familiar already. Guys, with all that said, done another way, I hope you have you know, found this useful and informative. If you have, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select on notifications, and you'll be kept up to date with everything. And hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one.